All righty, you guys. We are live. I do not know which one you can see me from. We are having technical difficulties, but that will not slow us down. So
Never.
that's right, right?
Right.
So, we are a collective of professionals, and I wanted to bring people in today to talk about women's image in the industry, a little help versus a full makeover. So, if you don't know who I am, my name is Naja Wahai Carter. I am the host of Get It Got It Good, G3 for short, and my show comes on WBGR Health and Wellness Channel Wednesdays 11:30 a.m. It comes on Total Entertainment Radio weeknights 6 p.m. as well as Power 904 weekdays 9 a.m. So you guys, thank you all for joining us. As we go, we'll be able to switch out the different um can you see me still when I do this? No, it went to the black screen,
No.
correct?
Nope.
Okay, so we're going to
Yep.
switch to the other one, but this one may be delayed some.
Ah.
And yes, it is. Okay, with that being said, I
There you
want to take a moment to introduce each of you one at a time. And so that way I can work on some of these technical difficulties before we get rolling really good, okay? Deal?
Okay.
So if I look around the board, we have multiple people. So you guys, first and foremost, I want to introduce Miss Tori from Power 904. So Tori, there you go, honey. Introduce Power for us real quick, and definitely
Yeah.
say whatever you have to say, and I'll be behind scenes messing with stuff.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Hey, everybody. Thank you for attending this. It's a blessing to be here with all the chaos and things that's going on. But I am Power
Why
904
did you
online
do that?
radio, and you can find us online. All you got to do is go to www.power904.com. I try to be a diverse station, so I'm looking for podcasts, music, DJs, some a little everything. So it'll be for everyone. So that's Power 904 in a nutshell. Um, to my right is my sister,
Hi,
Nisi.
everybody.
She's on Power 904. She has her Sundays, but I'll let her tell you about her Sundays really, really, really quick.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Nisi, or AKA the Red Poet. I host Sundays all day from 10 a.m. till midnight, and coming up in March, I'm gonna be having a like my Red Poet Diaries, and that's gonna be after midnight. Um, at 10 a.m. we do an interview show that is streaming on YouTube, and from then on we have the Poetry Podium, um, Midday Grooves, House Party, and Night Moves. And it's just playlists. House Party is upbeat. Midday Grooves is mellow, kind of like backyard parties, throwing something on the grill, cleaning up in the house. You know how we like to do that on Saturday with the music and stuff like that. Night Moves is my version of the Quiet Storm, and it's all slow music. But that's on Sundays, and y'all can tune in. It's playing now.
Awesome.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And so the next thing we're going to go to, while I'm still tinkering back here, hence the reason you can't see me. Let's see who else is on here. I'm going around the circle right now. Let's see. We have Mr. Kazar. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Kazar Coleman. I'm an independent filmmaker in DMV. I also produce and host a monthly entertainment television show out of Fairfax Access, where I spotlight entertainers in the DMV, whether that be musicians, artists, actors, fashion designers, whatever you're doing in the entertainment industry. Pretty much put you on the platform there, and we talk about things with my audience, and we educate them as well as entertain them. And that's what I do. You can find me at www.kazarcoleman.com, and take it from there.
Yay! Now, without further ado, we're going to keep going around. And next to Kazar, we have Miss Katrina. Would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Katrina Spagnoletti, and I am the current Mrs. Florida American, as you can see with my sash. I'm also an author of my book, What My Mother Never Knew, How I Healed from Childhood Sexual Abuse. So I'm really happy to be here. I'm actually not in the DMV area. I was born in Washington, D.C., but I moved to Florida almost 2 years ago with my husband. So, yeah, that's who I am.
Awesome. All right. And then we have the Hotspot's own Keonce. Honey, can you hear? Oh, there you go. You'd like to introduce yourself? You on? Mm-hmm.
She on mute.
Oh.
On mute.
I still can't. Can you guys hear her?
No.
I think
No.
you're still on mute. Key,
Yeah, she's on
unmute
mute.
yourself.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
No, she's still
No, still can't hear
Oh,
you.
no.
Keonce, can't hear you.
say come
No,
back.
no.
I think she said pass her.
Okay, so we'll come back. That's because she's using technology. Hence the reason we
Yes.
all having issues with technology today.
Mhm.
Look, but it's crazy because Tori and I were actually on here earlier. And can you guys see me? Nope, wrong one. So Tori and I was actually on here earlier, and it was working perfectly fine, wasn't it, Tori?
Yes, it was.
And then lo and
no,
behold, 5 seconds, 5 minutes before we go live, then we had this issue. It is what it is. We keep it moving. But you guys, the reason why we're coming to you all today is because we want to address the industry and what people expectations are when it comes to women in the industry. And I know they vary depending on age, race, role in the industry. But this picture that you will see on your screen right now is what sparked this conversation. Let's see if it'll load up. And it's also behind us as well. 1 second. Wrong one. So here you go.
You're right. You see it.
So this picture is what actually sparked the conversation. So there are two images of me, obviously. And one is very low makeup, one is high glam, high gloss makeup. They both look good. I don't have a problem with either one of them. But the question then becomes, which one is the correct one? Is there a correct one? Which one is more acceptable when marketing yourself? Which one is less acceptable? Which one do people really want in their personal life versus their professional life? What do men prefer? What do women prefer? Who are we actually catering to when we do this? Are we creating to certain individuals, certain industries, men, women? So these are all questions that I definitely wanted to bring to the attention and from the panel today, because we have various people from various backgrounds inside the panel today. Directors, queens, we're all queens.
Yes,
Production
we are.
managers,
Not all
just
of
from
us.
different things. Hosts. What'd you say, Kazar? Oh, you're a king. Okay.
But not all of us are queens.
Yes, but so I definitely wanted to take a moment out to talk to everyone here, and we'll have people dropping in periodically as well to address this as well. So here, I'm going to ask the first question, and we all can take a time to chime in. Let's see if Keonce is able to introduce herself, though, really quick. Key?
Hey guys, I'm sorry about that. My Wi-Fi was acting real boost mobile just a second ago. My name is Keonce Coles, and I'm the Hotspot Show host, Big Mouth. Thank y'all for having me. I'm definitely excited about what's going on today. The Hotspot Show is just basically a show where you can come in, lounge, kick back, say what you gotta say, not be judged, have fun, play games, do what Black people do, get together and just chill have a good time, give good energy, positive vibe, pray for each other, all that good stuff. But check us out every Thursday from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. You can follow me on IG at Keontae Coles One or the Hotspot Show for more information about the show. Thank y'all again for having me. I'm so excited. Happy Sunday to everybody.
Yay! And I'm excited to have Key's opinion on here as well. Because I mean, it's definitely needed, all of the different perspectives and how we all feel. There is no right, there is no wrong. The way we'll go about this is the way that I go about everything, and that's in a professional, respectable manner. Everybody's opinions are valued, and we're allowed to disagree or agree to disagree. I definitely want you guys to tune in and chime in on what you think as well, so definitely do that. So let's get started now. We're all in the industry in some form, fashion, or way, right?
Yes.
With that being said, I definitely want to start with you, Kazar. You are the lone man right now on the piano. But as the lone man, you also have this power role, right? And the reason why I say you have this power role is because you cast and produce and market films and media that's for the public's consumption. So when you do this and you wear these different hats and it comes to casting women or marketing the roles or the movies with the women in it, is there any things, concepts that you look for that goes through your mind?
Well, let me just start off by saying, if you are in the entertainment industry, whatever capacity it is, you'll always anxiety, one way or the other, if you are progressing. And with that being said, you put on your best face, whatever that is. What I look for, because, in television, movies, and all that, yeah, you do have to wear makeup because you got lighting. So you have to consider the technical aspect of what you're doing. Otherwise, you won't like what you see when it plays back, right? So for me, I base it off of the requirements of the roles. If it's the young lady is going to look down and abusive, then it's going to be somebody who can make themselves up through the makeup artist and who's willing to bring themselves into that character, right? Because we're not representing ourselves, we're representing the character. So whatever that role is that you're trying to portray, you need to be able to adjust to it, right? In the public's eye, I can tell you, it don't matter where you go, if you are progressing in this industry, people are going to recognize you, and they're going to selfie. And if you're not happy with what they're going to show on social media, you need to represent regular when you go out the door. When you home,
Yeah.
you do what you want to. If you're going to get on like Zoom or the social media, the virtual thing, since that's what we're doing, you still got to represent, right? Watch what you got in your background because people going to judge you one way or the other. So let them find something. Don't just give them something to talk about. Right? But for me, what I look for diversity. I look for diversity. Right? I look for diversity. I look for someone who is flexible and someone who can just transform.
That can look various ways in different roles and everything. I know that Katrina and I was actually having this conversation earlier. We were chit-chatting yesterday about giving people something to talk about and how people would not like something or another. That you can never please 100% of the people, and depending on your industry is what you have to bring forth. So, Katrina, let me come to you, honey, because right now you're in this industry that's completely beauty driven. And so your image is like one of the top priorities to how you go about your job, correct?
Correct. Absolutely correct. Being a beauty queen, and it's so hard for me because I consider myself a humble person, and to say beauty queen, I would rather say pageant girl, because there's so much more to this industry than just what you look like. But sometimes the most beautiful girl doesn't win. And I think that we get a raw deal in this industry because people just think it's about having a great body and having being a pretty girl. It's not. A lot of people don't see the background of what pageantry is all about. It is about being smart, being accomplished. When I first put my hat into the ring of competing at 53 years old, and I was, let me clarify that, I was 53. I was 56 when I won this title. So many people think it's about your age, it's about your beauty, it's about your body. No, 50% of our scoring is about whether we can represent this company, this organization in a positive way, in a confident way. So we have a lot of standards, and it's not all about being beautiful. I mean, we've got editing for that. We've got, anybody can put on makeup and hair and just look amazing, but you don't have to wear that. But unfortunately, in this industry, when you go on stage, everybody's beautiful. Everybody's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, most definitely. So let me ask you, Tori, because Tori, there is a big difference when you are not visually seen a lot of times, right? And so I'm wondering if you have to think about the same things being in the radio industry as somebody would have to think about being, on a large screen or the small screen, or, commercials and things like that. Now, I know you play both roles, but we're just talking about on the radio side of it, because there's still marketing and there's still commercials and there's still all of these things. So how would a radio personality then think about their personal image and how people perceive them?
Well, you want your personal image to always be that squeaky.
Oh, sorry, wait a minute. I'm back. My bad, Tori. Go ahead.
No problem. Love it though, love it. Well, you always want your image to be squeaky clean. You want it to be diverse, and you want it to always say something positive, because you don't know who's watching or who's listening. So you always want to be that attraction, whether it's behind the camera or in front of the camera. It doesn't matter. You just want to make sure people don't have anything, to judge you on as far as you're concerned, even though they will. They will judge you no matter what, because they're looking at you to see how you're moving, how did you get here, and all that kind of stuff. So they're going to judge regardless. But in my opinion, I try to stay professional, and because I have to be a man and a woman in this field. A lot of people won't know that I'm a female because I'm selling a product, that's in a male, I want to say it's highly male driven in this industry. So I really have to just say who I am and not worry about, what I look like all the time. Just make sure I can be professional and say what I need to say behind the scenes. And I have to look presentable when I'm in a meeting and stuff like that, when I'm trying to sell outside. So I'm always going to have that balance. So not sure that answered your question, but that's where I am with that.
So you brought up an actually really good point about the male driven of this industry, right? So if that is the case and it's a male driven industry, does that mean that men perpetuate this beauty image, the way that we have to look, the way that we even put on a little bit of makeup, get boob jobs, get butt jobs, get liposuction, things like that, Botox, whatever the case may be? Don't get it twisted, y'all. Women are not the only one doing this, by the way. I'm just asking. So it is a very good question, male dominated. So, but before we actually answer that question, I definitely want to take a second out, you guys, to introduce who we have with us. We have Kayla with us today from Total Entertainment Radio. So, Kayla, definitely shout out the people, introduce yourself, introduce PR. Say hi.
Hi, everybody. I am Kayla. I am the a third of Total Entertainment Radio. My other partners, they're actually in the middle of an interview right now. So I'm representing. We are from Detroit, Michigan. Online radio station. We have been tremendously blessed to be able to partner with Nija, with Tori. Hey, Tori girl. To create and do some big things. I'm loving this Nija right now. We happy to be here.
Awesome.
Yay. Okay, so thank you, Honey Bunny.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys, back to the conversation, and definitely this is why I wanted to have multiple people on the show. Now, male dominated industry. I want to ask Key real quick, Keonce from the Hot Spot, about and I keep doing that because I have two of me on here. My bad, y'all. So I want to ask Key real quick, Keonce from the Hot Spot, about being in the male dominated industry. And can you guys see me?
Yes.
Okay, just make sure. Because with a show like the Hot Spot, when you're interviewing all of these hit makers and people with names, and and you have this DJ and this presence and things like that, and you're on a station and you have all these listeners, does that put more pressure on you as a woman to act, be, look a certain way when you come into the presence of like this male dominated radio world, this male dominated musical industry, entertainment industry of any sort?
Honestly, for me, and I think it's everybody's personal journey, but for me, no. The reason why is because I'm from Queens, New York, y'all, and I already got my style. I'm an older woman. I ain't trying to fit in no crowds. I'm not trying to impress nobody. I'm who I am, and this is what you're going to get, regardless as to what. You who you are, I respect that, and I want you to respect me. So when I come and I'm ready to put on my show, I already like to dress to be, this is who I am. This is my personality. I'm kind of a little bit of crazy. I'm a little bit of cool. I'm professional, but I also got this little piece of me that says I'm also educated too. So don't be fooled by the image itself. Be focused on what's coming out of my mouth. You know what I'm saying? Focus about the conversation, about my energy, because I don't think it's just image. You know what I'm saying? Image is what you're gonna see first. What you see is what you get. But at the same time, you got to kind of peel that onion back and respect that person and what they're doing, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent in your opinion. When it comes to males, I'll be honest with y'all, I get hit on a lot. And I'm like, y'all could be my sons. Y'all better get out of my face. You know what I'm saying? I'll be looking at them like, don't play with me, okay? But somebody's going to try you. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to test your ability. They're going to test your confidence. For me, can't nobody break my confidence down. I'm who I am. I know my flaws, and I'm okay with those. When it comes to my job, though, that's my job. I'm not even thinking about how I look. You know what I'm saying? I make every little break, fix my little stuff up or whatever, just to make sure that I'm good for the camera wise. But as far as the industry as a whole goes, Key ain't really paying no attention to, do I look good enough for you? No. Once I look in that mirror and I stepped away, I look good enough for me. And that's all that matters at the end of the day. You either going to accept me and my energy and where I come from and my swag the way that it is, or keep it moving. It's other opportunities out here, and that's how it goes pretty much for me.
So, just real quick, you talking about these young boys now. Can you go, hey, young man?
The young man, yes, the young man. The young men, they like a little older woman. Okay.
Wait. And I'm tripping that you got that red cup, yo.
It's water, y'all. I promise it's water. I'm doing my little diet. I stopped drinking and everything is water. I promise.
I was going to ask him what was in that cup.
It's ice water.
That, y'all. If y'all want to check out the Hot Spot and bring your red cups and put whatever in it you want, then definitely. But you guys, we're actually going to take a little break really quick, because I definitely want to come back and talk about social media, because a lot of people are not like you, Key. a lot of women.
I know, I realize that, but you know what, Nigel? Can I just add one little second before you take the break? I forgot to mention that I'm a comedian as well. So part of that person, that persona, is in my hosting. It's in my natural person. You know what I'm saying? I'm naturally a jokester. I'm naturally a funny person. I'm naturally a cool person. So a comedian is not really, we self-deprecate on stage. I talk about my wigs and how my, big mouth or how many teeth I got in my mouth or whatever the case may be and things like that or whatever. And it's okay for me, for you to laugh at me. So it really doesn't matter when I'm kicking the door, waving the 4-4 on you, looking crazy. So,
right.
So that other piece kind of plays a part too.
Hey, it all and that confidence. I definitely want to talk to Katrina again about that confidence when it comes to social media and how women feel about themselves. That's a big part of the pageant industry as a whole. But you guys, take a look at this really quick. We'll be right back.
Okay.
On the hot spot, every Thursday from 8 to 10, the hot spot. We're on fire, make sure you're tuning in, the hot spot. Come and join us and get the zooming in, the hot spot. Heat's increasing in every room, you're in the hot spot. Every Thursday from 8 to 10, the hot spot. We're on fire, make sure you're tuning in, the hot spot. Come and join us and get the zooming in, the hot spot. Heat's increasing in every room, you're in.
So, quick question. Could y'all all see that?
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure. Now, for you guys who do not know, not being in the studio brings its own challenges because I have 3 screens in front of me. Because each computer or whatever has its own issues. So, you guys, bear with me. This is not my job. My job is to host. So, all right, Kayla, you're laughing. You're like the behind the scenes guy, and I know like editing and all that other stuff, which is slightly different, but I love my millennials. And their behind the scene ability. Put it that way. Yeah. So, you guys, I want to actually get into self-esteem and if what we do, what we portray, what we post, does that play a part in what we're teaching the next generation about who we are and what to expect from others, what to expect from ourselves, and all of that's wrapped up in that self-esteem. Because I know a lot of people look one way on social media and portray this perfection, and in reality, it's the trick of the lens or the trick of the stance, which all pretty poses aren't comfortable, by the way.
Right.
And so what are we teaching our girls? And it's okay, because on one hand, you're teaching them, okay, you got to play this part, go get your bag, things like that. On the other hand, are we saying you're not enough? And how do we balance that? Because I myself have a daughter in the industry as well. So I'm always thinking about the vice versa. How do you portray one thing and know within yourself that you're enough? So Katrina, I definitely want to come to you first because your industry thrives. I mean, all of our industries thrive on it, but the pageant industry is one of those things where you got to have this poise, this elegance, this beauty, this mind. A lot of people think that pageant queens don't necessarily have this mind, but they have this mind to be able to represent in a professional, sophisticated manner the crown and the products that they have to do. So Katrina, if you want to touch on that.
Well, you're absolutely right. And that's something that even me, every day that I practice my poise. I practice the way that I project my message, my platform. And that's something that you have to do in pageantry. When you're in front of the judges on the stage and they ask you that one question, you've got to have all those tools for them to say, okay, this is the right person to represent this title. And it's something that I practice every day. Now, as far as like, teaching our young women, I don't think there's anything wrong with teaching them poise, teaching them, how to take care of themselves in a way that, and again, we're going to go to the male driven, industry. Life is a male driven industry. If you want to get married, there's a lot of men out there that they're visual and they're going to want, if there's a whole bunch of women in the room, I mean, it is what it is. I didn't make the rules, but the fact is that they're going to go for a girl without hearing them speak that's the most attractive, that they can take home to their mothers, and their mothers will be proud of them, proud of the woman. I have 3 men that I birthed, and I know that I taught them. I wanted to be that example of what I felt that I wanted a daughter-in-law to be, and everything that I was. I see it in my daughter-in-law. I have one daughter-in-law, but I also see it in my boys and the women that they do bring home to me, because I want my my grandchild to have a mother and a father with a healthy relationship that's healthy and that's confident. That you have to be a confident person in order to succeed in this world. You have to have that confidence. It's so funny because my husband, he is very good at picking winners in pageants. He watches pageants with me, but I'm great at picking football teams that are winners. And the reason I am, and so many people ask me, how do you pick these teams? I pick these teams because I look at the quarterback and I see how good looking they are. And I'm like, if they were good looking all of their life, so many people told them they're going to have the confidence and they're going to bring it to the football field. And that's a winner, Tom Brady. So, so the fact is this, is that I think it's very, very important. I'm on the side where I think taking care of yourself, wearing makeup every day, having your hair great, having a great outfit, that's how I live. But I don't live it to impress anyone else. I live it because that's just who I am. When I project that on social media, I also project a message of confidence, of being a smart woman, being successful. So you've got to have that to back it up, because I do see women on there that will project this image of themselves, but once they get off of social media, they have no clue where to go after that. Their confidence and their self-esteem is all through social media.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah. So let me ask you, Kazar, considering that you have control per se over imagery and what people see in the image that you want to portray, because you are the artist behind the art form that you are portraying to the people, right? So do you ever think about what you're saying beyond the script or beyond the movie? Do you ever think about what you're saying to young girls or to women or to men when you put a female character on a screen, on print, in an ad, things like that? Do you think you have that responsibility at all? Or that never crosses your mind? Can you hear me? Kazar.
And when we
Oh, you were breaking up, so I didn't even hear the first
I can
part
hear
of
you.
that.
I can hear you.
Okay.
When I'm writing a script, I'm hearing you. Can you hear me?
You're a little choppy, that's all.
Try. Can you hear me now?
I think he's
Yeah.
frozen.
Okay. When I'm writing,
Yeah, it must be buffering.
you hear me?
We lost you. Yeah, you just keep buffering and keep freezing.
It's technology.
I know,
Anyhow,
right? I know. Here's the reason I had trouble, but keep moving.
if
Go
it's
ahead.
my movie, I always. Okay. Let me try this.
Okay.
Yeah, he's going in and out.
Yep. Okay, so Kazar, we'll come back to you when we.
Right.
Oh, you got it.
How it's perceived was something that I visualized or something that's brought to me. I always
He's going,
the type of
but he's in and out.
drawing,
Yes.
you know,
I have
all
to
the
say, I
elements.
love your internet. I don't think you're even aware of it, are you, Kazar?
Consider all the elements of the film itself. What
No, he's
You
not.
know,
He's
I
not.
don't think he can see it.
multiple characters.
Yeah, he can't even see it.
Okay, so what we're gonna do, Kazar, is come back to you because we're having a hard time hearing you. Gotta love the internet.
Can you hear me at all?
I mean, it was going in and out. We were trying. We
And
were
I know he was
trying.
saying some jewels too, because I could.
I
It was,
know, right?
it was just coming at me.
Everybody.
Man. So let me ask you, Kayla.
Okay.
Kayla, being that you are in the radio industry as well, and it's two women and one male, because you say you're 1/3 of TER, do you feel that makes it easier for you because you have this other strong woman figure right next to you, or do you think that the pressure is still the same because it is the industry? The industry is the industry. Do you change up how you do things?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think it's still hard for me because even though I do have another strong, confident partner, I'm still my own person. And so I don't know. I feel like I have to keep myself up, or I have to raise my standards or go to the next level to even compete with my partner.
Yeah.
You know, she's her own person. I'm my own person. And she challenges me basically, which is a good thing. That's a good thing. And so I have to just accept the challenge. And sometimes, a lot of times, I do not accept that challenge. But I'm working on it. I'm working on being me, being my own person, and then being able to hold my own. It does help though to have another person. It's not just me. I'm not the only female. So yes, it is. It is very helpful, and it is better to have a second one.
So with that being said, that brings up another great point. Here's the thing. A lot of the times we as women blame men for having to live up to this certain standard. But do you guys feel as though it's not really the women who is putting the pressure on, it's not really the men who is putting the pressure on the women, it's women competing with other women to put pressure on ourselves to outfox the next one so that way we'll look good for this man or this situation? Or do we use our looks? That's a dumbass question. Sorry. We do use our looks.
It's not a dumb question. It's a good question, actually.
Well, no, not the first part. I just mean like as far as using your looks to get ahead and things like that. But go ahead, answer that.
Can I chime in right quick?
Who said that?
Niecy.
Yep, I'm putting it on you, Niecy.
Okay, look. Growing up in DC, image was very important. If you went and see, I went to Wilson, so y'all know everything there was so-called red, pretty, money. McLaughlin. There, people in that status, and they were walking around with Gucci skirts and all this type of stuff. So somebody like me that came from Benning Road, my mom got me in Wilson. I was supposed to go to HD. I had a certain image in Northeast, Southeast. It comes, sometimes it comes from your background. When I moved to Jacksonville, it was like a culture shock because in DC, it is a standard. It is a certain level of uniqueness. Everybody is not going to walk around looking like the same person. And is it Nissa? Nija. I'm sorry. I know you can relate to that.
Most definitely.
Yeah. So, and when we were growing up, everybody was rocking like the asymmetrics, but everybody had to perm their hair for their hair to look a certain way or to look wavy. We were always trying to keep up with the red chicks. And I had a bunch of hair when I was young, and my mom started putting perms in my hair when I was 9 years old. And I'm saying all that to say it's sometimes it's a generational thing to look. You have to look a certain way to be accepted, and even in a grocery store. Growing up in DC, we had to look a certain way even going in the grocery store. We didn't want to look toe up going in the grocery store. Here, flip-flops with some shower cap. I mean, image. I mean, and I know it's sometimes they could be just stepping out the house. I'm going somewhere quick. But for us, growing up, it was growing up. It was just, you had to look a certain way. Now, I don't care. When I went natural, my friends was like, hold up, I got a good story. When I went natural, the guy that was cutting my hair looked at me and said, are you sure? Because my hair was down here, but it was permed. And I was like, I'm tired. I don't feel like all this hair and it's too much. So I said, I'm going to go ahead and go natural.
Yeah.
A guy came in while he was cutting my hair, and he looked at Carlos. He said, that's her hair? He said, yeah, man. He said, what, you waiting to exhale or something? I said, really? You know, it was like, it and I don't say that to, I'm saying what I'm saying is that it's not necessarily men. It's us. You know, some women, if I talk about being natural, oh no, I got to have my lashes, I got to have my fingernails, the tips and all that. And I say, well, what you gonna look like by the time you're 60?
Right.
That your hairline gonna be received from when, I mean, you can listen to the celebrities. They talk about this all the time with the glue and the wigs and all that stuff. When I made that choice to go natural, I said, I don't care how I look, because at the end of the day, like Keith said, it's what it is. I'm gonna be me regardless. Image is important, but you have certain times for that image.
Yeah.
So
most and you brought up like so many points in that I want to address. There is the men versus women, what you're gonna look like later. The man's problem with women and all of the extra stuff, because the fear of not knowing what they're gonna get when they get you home. You know, and I do feel as though women compete with women. So that part of the question I felt as though, okay. But as far as, you know, using what you have to get ahead, I see that there's different feelings on that on the actual comment feed, which is a lovely thing. Definitely keep posting them. But yeah, like Yanni says, it's both men and women. Shout out Yanni. But you guys, before we go any further into, you know, the difference between your personal versus professional, and how men really feel about the cake, you know, the hair, the lashes, the plastic parts, things like that, the inserts. I definitely want to shout out to Mina, who's able to join us right now. But before we get into her introduction, you guys, we are going to take a what is it called? A brief break. So you guys stay with us. We'll be right back.
There's a little lag. Can you hear me?
So you guys, welcome back. Shout out to DJ Diamond Cuts. I will be on DJ Chronicles this Friday evening. Definitely don't miss it. So we have Tamina Ward in the house. Say hi, Tamina. Let's introduce you, honey.
Hey, can you hear me?
Sure
Yes.
can.
Okay. So, hey everybody, I'm sorry that I was running a little late. My name is Tamina Ward. I am actually a 20-year veteran. I spent the last 20 years in the Marine Corps, and I'm a life and leadership coach. So, really an empowerment coach for women. And that is what I do, helping women and men to get unstuck in life, to realize that, the power is within, and helping to deliver them moving forward. I'm also a huge mental health advocate, created an app to speak to mental health trauma, mental health issues, and the importance of utilizing therapy or coaching to help you heal and get forward in life. So that's a little bit about me.
Yay! Awesome.
So I love Tamina. I love talking to Tamina. We have great conversations about here. I have great conversations. I don't associate with people that don't have. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, so sorry. Multiple things. So what was the last thing? Okay, so I thank you, Tamina, for being on here and being able to join us, you guys. Black Therapy Love is one of those things. I know, like, Tori is very strong in the mental health segment and awareness, and so you guys definitely have to link you to, because it is something that we have to talk about when it comes to African Americans and speaking on our mental health situations. And one of the things that affects our mental health all day, every day, is our self-perception, our self-image, the way we feel about how we look. Are we good enough? Are we pretty enough? As a dancer and as a professional dancer, you go into these auditions and you can dance your butt off, but they line you up like cattle. And they look, are you too fat? Are you too skinny? Do you have the right athletic build? Do you have the right hair color? Do you have the right whatever? And they size you up like they used to do on the auction block to see if you even fit the right mold before you even get to dance. So it's not always about your skills. It teaches you very early on. It's about how you look. Like a Janet Jackson audition that I went on. Do you look like Janet? Well, no. Well, then you gotta go. So it's about that. So when we post it, because we never really address the social media, and how we put ourselves out there, and what we're told that we have to do when we put ourselves out there, and how we must look when we put, so how do you guys go about your social media presence and how you post? Who do we want to start with this time? Tori, are you typing?
No, not this time.
Oh, because usually it's Tori. So let's actually start with Tamina, because since she just joined us, I definitely want to hear her input. So because I know you do a lot of posting on social media and doing little tidbits and awareness. So Tamina, how do you approach how you post and what you look like?
Yeah, that's a real good question. And it's something that's important to me, because me being, and I just posted not too long ago, a barefaced, no makeup, beauty type post, to kind of reiterate the importance of us showing our young girls what beauty looks like. Is not what I see on television. Everybody with all this makeup caked up on their face. But I think that it's important for us to show, both sides. Beauty is you with makeup. Beauty is you without makeup. Beauty is what's actually on the inside. So when I put that post out there, I was tying it into me being a dark-skinned girl, raised. I'm thin. I was thin back then, so I was a skinny, dark girl. And there were times where I would get teased. And I had to grow into my loving my skin, because we didn't have that back then. We didn't have the Beyonce brown skin girl, right? So when I post, I make sure I post to express that beauty is whatever that you are, as you're showing up. I think confidence is beauty. Being able to speak up for yourself is beautiful. So it's not that what's on the surface of your skin. I think it's important to show exactly what beauty is through our posts, and that's what I try and do.
So I definitely agree with you. I was having this conversation about me posting. So you guys, if like Get It Got Good is one thing, it's professional, it's whatever. And then I have like a Naja Carter inspirational, and I have a Naja Woolhite. But if you look at the different ways I post, I'll post dressed up, I'll post a photo shoot picture, and then I'll post me sweaty, no makeup, just to give. I don't ever want to get uncomfortable in my skin,
Right.
where I'm like, I can't post this because I don't look good enough. Well, it says who? Do we follow somebody else's vision and perception of us, or do we have an internal compass that says I look good enough for me, and that's a self-esteem thing? But Tamina and Nisi actually brought up a point which I definitely want to address as well, which is about our color scale. You guys, we go from high red bones to dark chocolate, right? And so depending on the generation, depends on if you in or out. You know what I mean? Melanin is beautiful or red bone is beautiful. You go through these different phases. And then natural. You guys, I'm natural all day because I don't have the patience to sit still in somebody's chair, and it's just easier for me. So I went natural a while ago before it became like the thing to do these days.
Yeah.
But I remember the reason why so many girls went natural went had perms back in the day is because that was the image that was portrayed as far as beauty. This long hair, and light eyes and different stuff like that. So with that being said, Kayla, I know I see you all the time, but do you think about when you go out, because you guys go live a lot of times behind the scenes at the studio, but when you go out, do you think about, okay, I gotta have my hair a certain way or something because people know me as this radio personality, so when I go out, I gotta look a certain way, I gotta have my hair natural, or what? Does that even come across your mind?
No, that's not, no. That hasn't been my concern. I guess with me, it's been a little different. Yeah, I got the chocolate skin. See, I always got the backhand comment. I always got the, "Oh, you're pretty for a dark skinned girl" comment. That was my comment. Wow. And then I was fortunate to have, I had, decent length hair. So, you a dark skinned girl, you pretty, and you had long hair. Like, it was shocking. I didn't understand it. And it's not too much an issue now because melanin is in now. Now, as you were saying, that's what's popping right now. But when we go out, we go for comfort. Like, we go make sure we look good, make sure we're presentable. But as far as like doing all that extra stuff, no. We want to be comfortable. We want to look good and be comfortable doing it. And I think that just comes with building the confidence in ourselves to be that way. I haven't always been that way necessarily. I would walk with my stomach sucked in just because I didn't like my fupa. That was just how I walked. That was just how I want to present myself. But even now, as I've changed my lifestyle, trying to get healthier, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's not a thought anymore of what somebody else is thinking when we step out.
So I know when I step out, and I think it's also about perception, because me and my husband have this. Well, yeah, because we have this conversation all of the time about, are you brown? Are you light? Are you, because I never looked at myself as light skinned. I'm brown. I'm trying, you know what I mean? That's how I see me. But then compared to my husband, he's like, you're light. And I'm like, you're tripping. So I think it's also a matter of perception. And I find myself, I have to look a certain way for some things just to be in that professional mode. But you guys know me. I'm like a pigtail, ponytail, plaits, sweatshirt, sweatpants type of girl. Like, you're talking that comfort. Now I'm curious though, Katrina, because being in the spotlight as a pageant queen, especially the first African American pageant queen to be crowned in 30 years, right, on that platform. Do you feel some type of way when you go out that, okay, I can't ever be comfortable in sweats and a t-shirt, or I always got to have on makeup? Like, how does that work?
I do not. I wake up a certain way. I'll go to the gym with no makeup. I'll walk because I try to walk 4 miles a day, just so I can be healthy. I mean, I'm 56 years old. It's all about healthiness for me. It's not about the way I look, because the only person I really care about to look at me is my husband. I want him to be happy. And I can be happy with makeup, or he can be happy with makeup or without makeup. I do want to touch on this whole, because I haven't heard this in such a long time, and it kind of put me back a little bit. This whole light skin, dark skin thing. Like, it's just, I think that frustrates me so much, because it doesn't matter to me. I'm speaking for myself. It doesn't matter. I've heard that all of my life, and it doesn't matter. We are a culture of beautiful people. It doesn't matter what, if you're lighter or darker or whatever, because I got a different teasing when it comes to my skin color, or the fact that my hair was longer. We all have something that someone wants to go after, that someone wants to squash your self-esteem because they feel that they're not comfortable in their skin. Being I'll be honest, when I first came into Florida, I looked and researched how many Black women were crowned, and there, in 30 years, there were none. And I really had to sit back and wonder why is it? And as a Black woman, you're going to get this perception of, okay, maybe they just didn't want to pick a Black queen. No, when you live this life and you see what's really going on, it's not about that. It's not about how they look at us and they don't want us there. I'm treated just as well as any of the farmers, as any of the delegates. I'm treated exactly the same. It doesn't matter. They are looking for someone who can represent their company just like anyone else. So when I was crowned, I didn't even think about it, because I wasn't the only one crowned, the only Black woman crowned that night. Someone else was actually crowned. I just happened to be the first one that was crowned on stage. I was not the first Black. I'm not the first Black Mrs. Florida American. I'm the first. I'm the first Mrs. Florida America. I'm not the first Black Mrs. America, because there's never been a Black Mrs. America. That went to another person. I'm the first Mrs. Florida American. It didn't matter if I was Black or white, but I am the first Black woman to be crowned on that stage for no reason but because it's not enough Black women that are putting ourselves out there in a pageant like that to win, because there were only two of us there. The year before, there was only one out of what, 20 women. So it wasn't about the color of my skin. It was about the fact that we don't go and say, okay, I want to go into this pageant where there's all white women and I want to compete. Because every time a woman of color competes in this system, they say something to me that just breaks my heart. They say, do you think that's gonna be a point where I don't win? And I'm like, no, because it's not about skin color. No matter what anybody wants to say, this system and a lot of pageant systems are not about racism. They're about the best person, and it doesn't matter what your skin color is. It's just that we don't take the opportunity to do the same thing everybody else is doing. I went into this not even thinking anything but, okay, I'm going to win this because I have a great platform and I know I'm passionate about it. I know I can represent a company well. Not, okay, I'm going to go into it because I want to get that crown because I'm a Black woman. I think so neutral, and I think so many people should think that, but I sure know who I am. I know exactly who I am, and nobody can question that. You can't question that, because every day you see me, you know who I am, and I'm very proud of who I am. I grew up in a society in the 60s, 70s, and 80s that you heard so many negative things, and it did not matter what your skin color was. You heard negative things, and they're going to go after the most sensitive area. And sometimes that could be your skin color.
So you brought up so many points right there that I want to address. First of all, why don't we come out in higher numbers when it comes to things like that? And second of all, you're talking about growing up in the 60s to 70s. So you represent not only the minority in this pageant industry, but a minority as far as the age category.
Yes.
So that is a lot on your shoulders if you want to look at it that way. But it's also liberating for other women who say, pageants are for 20-year-olds, and now I'm in my 40s, 50s, and 60s, so I can't do that. So do you want to address what made you go out to this beauty-driven industry and say, this is what I'm going to do, and this is why I'm going to do it?
I wanted every woman. It didn't matter your race, economic background. It didn't matter. I wanted every woman to look at this woman who was I can't say brave enough because I don't think it's a brave thing. That just didn't care. I didn't care because I knew I could win. I didn't care because the first thing my husband said when I said I was going to compete for Miss Virginia, he said to me, well, aren't you competing against 28-year-olds? And I was like, oh, really? Really? That's the answer I'm getting. But when I surprised him by being second runner-up, even he started to think, because this is how men are. They're going to think, oh my goodness, you're going to compete against women that are so much younger than you. There's no way you're going to win. I exceeded his expectations. I didn't exceed my expectations because I was there to win. I came out second runner-up. The next time I did like everyone else. I just said, okay, let's fix what it was that I didn't do, which was my on-stage question. Let's fix that. And I know I could win. And that's exactly what I did. I didn't blame it on, oh my goodness, I didn't win because I'm Black. I was the only Black one competing that year. And I beat 20 other women who were 30 years my junior. I beat them. Everything that I do is about taking it to a different level, letting other women sit there and see a woman who's in her 50s that can dominate an industry that we don't think we can dominate. A woman who is Black, who went into a white organization and dominated being the woman that I am. I'm proving everyone wrong. And that's exactly what this is about for me, is proving to every single woman out there, it doesn't matter what you look like, what your skin color is, what your economic background is. You can be the best. You can beat the best. You just have to believe in yourself. And that's what I do. I believe in myself before I believe in anything else that society believes in me. And that's what we have to do. We have to give up so many of these negative thoughts that will just draw us back from not putting our hat in the ring and trying something that people don't think you can try or you can win. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to have women look at me and say, if a Black woman is there, she can relate. If a young woman is there, she can go, oh my goodness, I want to be like her when I get to her age. Like, I like that surprise factor. And I want women to know you can win. You can win.
So, you guys, this is a great conversation. I definitely want to delve more into we addressed the makeup side. Now, what do you guys feel about the surgical side, the surgeries, the liposuction, the Botox, the hair implants, the breast augmentations, these things like that? Because a lot of times, I don't know if women get it for them or if they get it for the image that society have of them. And so we're gonna get into that in a second. But you guys, we have to take another break. So we'll be right back. So you guys, and looking at the commercials and the dating and everything else, and thinking about the industry and a little help with makeup, contouring, as Yanni said, or with more extreme things like liposuction or implants and things like that. There's one thing to think of it on a professional side, and do we feel as though we need that in order to advance? And then there's another thing to think of it on a personal side, and what do men really want, and do we need that in order to find that mate? So who wants to chime in on this one? I know I haven't heard from Key in a while, drinking her red cup. So definitely. Key, what do you think on both sides? Do you think you need that in order to advance, or do you think you need that in order to find a man?
No, I don't think that you need it to find a man, because a man's going to pursue a woman regardless as to what. I don't think women have a hard time with finding a man. It's just the man that they prefer, because a man is going to be a man. A man is going to be attracted to a female regardless as to what. So as far as going through the extremities of getting implants or plastic surgery to find a man, I think it's unnecessary. As far as the industry is concerned, though, there are certain requirements in which somebody, like, let's just say, if I invested $500,000 of my hard-earned money into a brand, and I want my brand to look this specific way, whether it's fake look, whether it's embracing melanin or naturalness or whatever the case may be, of course I'm going to want to hire people who represent my brand the way that I want it represented, whether it's people who are made up and fake looking or natural looking. My thing is, that's my money and that's my call and that's my determination. And whether or not society accepts it or not, I feel like it's still a part of that person's right to be creative in expressing that. And once it's my money invested, you can't tell me no different than what it is that I want to pursue, whether you agree with it or not. So I respect industries that come from these places where it kind of do make other people feel uncomfortable. You got to accept the fact that you live in a cold, cold world, and not everything gonna be sugar coated to you. I feel like it builds us as people to kind of evolve and deal with those hard times in life. I do understand mental illness. The young lady said she worked with a lot of people who, have issues with mental illness and building themselves up. But I think that society helps to build you up with the good, bad, and the ugly. It's the balance that you as a person have to understand on how to interpret and either take it in and use that negative stuff to make you into a better person, like that fire, to make you into a better person, to make you think highly about yourself, or you're going to fall into the abyss of trying to keep up with the Joneses. So that's on you and your I guess your spirituality, your person within, how you was brought up. And sometimes it's not even just how you was brought up. Sometimes it's that time when you take that time to really dive in to see who you are. Like when we're in our teens or whatever, we still trying to figure out who we are and where we fit at in this world. And sometimes you got to create your own niche. And then when you decide to go into an industry that require these things, be prepared for it all. Be prepared for the good, the bad, the ugly, the judgment, and how you going to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes when you go to work and you bring that home from your job, and it's a negative piece in your supposed to be place of serenity, then that's something that you got to deal with. It's not the job that is making it bad for you. You gotta, as a person, be in control of your destiny when it comes to your imagery, your self-esteem, and things like that. And I know it's difficult, but we got people in here, like the young lady said, she helped people and life coach people through doing that. So there's resources out there to help people along the way. We don't get born with a manual on how to deal with society and how to make us into a better people. It's the challenges that really make us into better people. It's the constructive criticism. It's the positive energy that people put out there, and you grasp it the way that you need it. And if you can't deal with it, there's resources out there that you could utilize to help you overcome those adversities or obstacles or even inner thoughts. And my thing is like this. As a woman, as a Black woman, I dealt with all kinds of stuff. I dealt with my flaws. I dealt with insecurities. I dealt with abuse. I dealt with not knowing the feeling of, should I do this? Should I not do that? Or whatever the case may be. But when it comes down to it, if it disturbs my peace, then I'm not doing it. Period, point blank, the end.
Most definitely.
And that's just how it goes. And I just feel like you gotta you gotta use these negative influences to build you up to be stronger. Because what don't kill you will make you stronger. And if you do let it kill you, then you didn't do what you were supposed to do as far as incorporate whatever resources that you needed to help you get through. You gotta live this life like the young lady said about health. If you're not taking care of yourself, you think you're gonna be coming out here looking good? No. If you running these streets and thinking that, you know, you're gonna be looking like a dime piece in the morning and not have to throw a whole bunch of makeup on, no. If you're doing drugs and not brushing your teeth, I see women who don't even brush their teeth accordingly. You ain't even brushing your teeth, so I know you ain't washing your behind. You understand what I'm saying? So my thing is like this: is self-care or whatever, and people will look at you funny. You're not gonna be my friend and not taking care of yourself, and I'm not gonna say nothing to you because that's not me being a friend. Especially when and the same thing with the industry. They're gonna tell you, you look a hot mess, honey. This is not for you. You got to go work on X, Y, and Z. Period. Point blank. The end. And if you can't take that tough, it's like tough love that your parents gave you when you ain't behaving or when you doing something that you ain't supposed to be doing. You got to learn how to deal with that. And really, to be honest, it starts with you. And then you're able to deal with everything that come at you in this world. And I'm not saying that everybody got to have tough skin or everybody is built like me. I'm just saying it's people like me that can help you, like the other young lady who says she mentor people that can help you overcome these adversities as far as you being insecure or not knowing your place in life. There's people that you can reach out to. It's your job to do it.
Well, speaking about that, Key, Tamina, that is what you do. What would your advice be on somebody's psyche or somebody's mental awareness of themselves? How would you address this as somebody who do that or does that?
Yeah, and Keonse is right on point. A lot of things that I kept hearing you say is that, you know, it is a tough world out there. And by us going through everything that we go through builds our resilience. And we as a Black women, oh my goodness, that is exactly what we do and who we are. But I think the biggest thing, Naija, is you have to know yourself. And as I was listening to Keonse also talk about, you know, some of the things that, you know, that women and men may do for the industry, the biggest thing I would say is just don't allow it to change you. But you have to know who you are to not allow those requirements, those standards to change you, right? So with that work, it starts finding out who you are. There's so many women and men walking around that's lost, that's broken, that, you know, so much trauma from the past, trying to figure out things and make things work today. You have to do that work. You got to use those resources and start from there. And from there, you can understand, you know, hey, all right, I know where I am right now. Now I got some assistance. Now I can know what I need to do in order to move forward. So you got to know yourself. You got to do that soul searching.
So speaking about that, you guys, I definitely want to go into opening up the floor because I know like Tori has a question that she would like to ask and things like that. So if anybody else have questions they like to ask each other, because I know this is the first time that a lot of you guys have even interacted with one another. So I definitely want you guys to be able to converse with one another and ask these questions and bring up other questions. So Tori, would you like to start us off with your question?
It was actually my sister's question, but I'm gonna let her go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Nisi.
I wanted to ask Katrina. She made a very good point about self-esteem and how she just was fearless entering the pageant and the competition, and how she just held her ground and stood her own. does she have a platform? And how she was talking about younger women, that, and how we don't know about these things because we look at them on TV, and that, like, it goes back to imagery. We don't see us until, I think the first person we saw was Vanessa Williams growing up. And that's when I think people started paying attention, or Black women per se, but we still need confidence in knowing how to even enter these pageants and things, or even have teaching tools or some type of mentorship, or you could, or someone that can go around and do like motivational speaking for platforms like that, so we can at least get the information, and we can teach our daughters, you know.
Right.
I do. I have a platform. My platform is healing through childhood sexual abuse. I am a survivor of childhood sexual abuse. At the age of 5 by my uncle, and in my teenage years by my stepfather for years. It's something I did not know affected my life and affected my self-esteem until I went to therapy for a relationship. And when you go to therapy for a relationship, he wants to make sure that both of you are healthy. So you would have to have sessions on your own. I just discovered that what happened to me as a child, and I don't understand why I didn't know this until I went to therapy. That everything that happened to me as a child, the chaos that I was going through, the unhappiness that I was not only experiencing for myself, but my children were seeing a mother who was very angry, who got into chaotic relationships, who just was scared of everything, who had very low self-esteem. And once I understood how to heal myself, I just decided, hey, I built my self-confidence, and I just decided at 53, I'm going to go and, try my hand at pageantry. And it turned out to be something that really continues not only to help me grow as a woman, but it helps me heal as a woman, because I'm constantly talking about my childhood sexual abuse and how I'm healing. Because I've healed, but I'm healing every single day because I have triggers every single day. So
I
yes.
can relate to that. I can relate
It's a
to that.
continual journey.
Yeah.
That's good.
So
Thank
And
anybody else?
also, that's what I wrote my book about. I wrote my book during COVID last year. I wrote my
Okay.
book about how I healed from childhood sexual abuse. It's called What My Mother Never Knew. And I entitled it that because I didn't have the voice to tell my mother. I didn't have the confidence. I was afraid and I was ashamed of what was going on. So I just recently told her the whole story, basically last year, the end of last year. So I wanted to entitle the book so people would know you have to use your voice. You have to use your voice for everything.
Yes,
Not
ma'am.
only
Yes,
that,
ma'am.
but just everything. You've got to be able to communicate. And I just think it brought me to the place I am right now, right at this moment.
Okay.
Can I just add that, Katrina, you are phenomenal, sis. That's
Yes.
your
Yes.
story is your healing. But I know that you know that you're helping so many other people heal by listening and hearing your story. But one other thing that you mentioned is that you just now were able to tell your mom what happened. And I talk about this quite often, is that we don't empower our kids enough.
Right.
Sometimes our kids
Right.
feel like they have a voice. I'm constantly affirming my daughter because I know that's what I need to do as her mother, is setting the example. But it's already difficult enough for people to just communicate regularly on a regular basis. But we weren't brought up talking and communicating like that. So the more that we communicate, and all the way down to our children, and allowing them to be able to speak their mind and their voice, and be able to come to us, we have to continue to do that moving forward. That helps us heal. That allows them to come to us when they do have those difficult issues. So many babies are committing suicide today. We have to continue to communicate and keep those lines open and empower our babies.
Yes, we do. We do.
Yeah.
I have a question. Do men go through this as much as women? I mean,
Oh yes. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Tamina, I wanted to ask you that as well. Do
You
you
know,
mentor men and young men?
absolutely. And they do it. To be honest with you, men go through it a little bit worse than we do. That's why women or men tend to die earlier than women, because they don't let their emotions, they don't talk, they don't, tell their fellow brothers what they're going through, or seek therapy. So it's even tougher for them to open up and communicate. And men, so easy for them to compartmentalize stuff. Something happened, trauma, whatever happened in their past, it's there, but it's so hidden, so far back, that a lot of them never bring it to surface. A lot of them never seek therapy and actually realize what was hurt and all that pain, to be able to heal from it. So absolutely, men and young men, they have an even tougher time. My son came in a couple days ago, and he was upset, and I could tell that he was upset, and he didn't want to tell me what was going on. And I made sure I explained to him, baby, look, talk to me. Talking to me and telling me what you're going through makes it better, makes you feel better. So when we're having those, especially with our young men, our little boys, having them open up to us is so important. But yes, men deal with it even more so than us as women.
I think that we skip something as parents, because they're out there playing sports and their coaches are telling them to be tough. You get hit, we have to raise emotionally intelligent men. We have to raise them, because if you're emotionally intelligent, that will do great things for your self-confidence. It really will. And you'll be there for your significant other if they've gone through what you've gone through, or millions of other people, 700,000 people go through sexual abuse every year in this country, every year. And that's a low number, because a lot of people don't come out and talk about it ever. Never.
Wow.
We have a man on the panel. I'd be interested to hear how easy it is for him to open up or talk about some issues, or trauma or difficulties that you've had in life.
Well, I think it also it's determined by the time frame that you were raised, as young men, and it does make a difference.
It does. It really does.
A lot of women don't always understand it, partially because you don't really hear the man out. You really have to kind of just listen to us. Our biggest issue with not opening up is trust, right? Amongst ourselves as men. First of all, there's always competition, and that's just the way we are. We have our issues that we need to build, and it depends on whether or not you have buddies that you can talk to. A lot of us don't, that we can really trust.
Yeah.
We may have one or two. And but the big thing is, you got to know who you are. You have to determine who you are, who you want to be. We deal with physical things as far as how we look and that kind of thing. We deal with it all the time. More so because we're judged harder, probably in the industry. Whether it be the entertainment industry or just your regular place of work. There's always competition for us.
Yeah.
And God forbid you be in something like law enforcement. That's a whole new ball game. We got to be able to have an outlet.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily. So with men, we don't speak in depth and in volume to try to share out how we feeling or dealing with certain things. We speak over a period of time. That's just how we are. Because we got to see if we can trust you with this little bit of information.
Yeah.
If we can trust you without you judging us or talking bad about it, or bringing it back when we're angry, when you're angry with us, then we can get it out there. But we also need platforms and other men who can kind of come alongside us. So,
do you agree that if you raise men that are let's say emotionally intelligent, that it builds that confidence, because then that trust that you were just speaking about, that trust kind of, if you put yourself out there as a man, you're emotionally intelligent, you're not afraid to show your emotions, you build that self-confidence, which of course, I think some of the things about how men put pressure on women has to do with their self-esteem. I've got to have the best looking girl out there. She's got to be the baddest girl out there. Like that's a self-esteem thing altogether that men project off of women because they are lacking with that self-esteem. They want someone for their friends to be like, oh my goodness, she's so bad, she's so beautiful, you really have a win. Because we are like the other half of that person. We're representing our husbands just like they're representing us as husbands. We're representing them, and they want that girl that is like their friends are so envious of them having, and it puts the pressure on a woman to look a certain way. That's another pressure.
Yeah, but let me just say this. And I know there's a lot of talk on makeup, light skin, dark skin. At the end of the day, your beauty is your beauty. Your intelligence. I'm more attracted to a person who is intelligent and can carry themselves a certain way than someone who's loaded with makeup or built a certain way. Because I think someone touched on it earlier. At the end of the day, can I bring this person around my family? Not so much my mother, but around my family and be okay with it. So, but I think that intelligence, as far as the mentoring, it takes the mom and it's going to take the dad too.
Yeah,
The
definitely.
mother can't do what the dad can do in certain ways, but the dad got to be intelligent and smart enough to open up and not be afraid to touch, to put his hand on his son's shoulder, and say it's okay because that has a place in there. So I
You
think
know,
it's
I
just
raised my I raised my son saying to them, they will not bring any girls around me unless that girl is of significance, that they are truly know that this girl is going to be in their life, if not forever, for a long time. Because I will not accept just a pretty girl sitting on my couch. If
yeah,
I don't see that you genuinely love my son and you have something to offer him, they know I don't want to meet her. And I very rarely meet someone my children are seeing. If I ask them, who are you seeing? They're like, Mom, nobody that I would want to bring around you, because that's what I taught them. Don't
right,
bring
right.
just some girl around me. I need someone that I know is going to make you want to be a better man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
So
then
let
that
me
had
ask
nothing. I
y'all
didn't
real quick.
say she got to be the baddest girl. I said I want someone
Yeah,
that is
that's
going to
gonna lift
make
you up.
you want to be a better man.
Yeah. Do we all have sons, ladies?
no,
Kazar?
I have a son.
I think we all have sons. Like I have daughters too, but I think we all have sons. That's amazing, ladies. So if, when raising a son versus raising a female, are there, for me there are, but for you guys, are there differences in which you tell your sons what you allow them to do versus your daughters? And when you talk about things like beauty and health, like I have a son, my baby son is a football player. And so we're talking about his body all of the time, but it's more on a healthy thing. You can't eat this, you can't eat that, you're gonna gain weight, and that's gonna put more pressure on your body as far as your speed, because he's a wide receiver, things like that. So we do talk about body when it comes to him. But as far as my daughter, it's a different conversation with body. Your body's a temple. Don't let no. Now I say some crazy stuff to my kids that I won't say on air when it comes to their bodies and sexuality and beauty and things. And my kids actually run the rainbow. So anybody who follow me knows I got these high yellows and these chocolates all in the same same family. And so they have this colorism conversation in my own house. Oh, I'm beautiful. I'm like, look at my curly good hair, stuff like that. And I'm chocolate, and chocolate is sweeter than caramel. Like all this craziness. So is there a difference with you guys? I don't know. I think most of y'all only have sons, but is there a difference, or do you think there will be a difference when talking to your sons versus your daughters?
No, not with me.
I only have sons, so.
And the reason why I say that is because I know how I grew up, and as far as watching grandmother and mother and how they interact with men, it wasn't the way I wanted to interact with men. And I would teach my daughter the same way I told my son, like you do, Katrina. I don't bring anybody here that you know I'm not going to approve of. So I've only met 2 women in his life, and he was with them for a long time. But yeah, it's just I would do my daughters like that too if I had daughters.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would never want my daughters to go through what I had to go through. So I would try to find different approaches as in comparison to my mom, because you can't teach something you weren't taught. If y'all understand what I'm saying, you come out of your background, your community, your home training and stuff like that. So I just didn't want, if I did have a daughter, I would give her the same talk. I would rather my daughter, not best friend, but I would want my child to feel comfortable, not knowing that I'm not going to judge them with whatever, because hey, I was 16, I was 13, I was 14, so I know what you're dealing with. And our parents didn't. Well, I'm not going to say everybody, but my parents didn't do that. It was, you do this, you do that, you do this. It was never like a conversation. I always went to my grandmother to have conversations. So
yeah.
So I have a daughter and a son. They both are grown. They both are unique. They're different, and the conversations are totally different. For my son, it's about intellectual growth, job-wise, trying to figure out what he want to do and how to get there and study hard and that kind of thing. For my daughter, she's older than he is, but her thing now is herself. She's looking to see where she want to do with life, but she's also more familiar, more alert with how she looks physically. So she's one I would go to the gym with quicker than my son. So they're totally different.
Well, one thing that I did say to my kids, because when they were younger, of course, they're boys, they would get into the way the girls look or whatever. But I remember, I would always tell them, if you wanna, what do you call it? If you wanna, now I'm tongue tied with this. Basically, I said, if you want a quality woman, you have to be a quality man. Yeah. And whatever their definition of quality, I would try as a mother to show that to them. What I felt I didn't tell them what it was. I had to be the example of what it was. Mm-hmm. And I would say, if you want a quality woman, you have to be a quality man. You can't just go out there and get a woman that you think is quality and not be at that level with her. So it's up to you and who you want to be and what you want to attract. So whatever their definition of it was, hopefully I was the one who set the bar. Because I remember when I saw my first son, the second he was born, I said, I have to be a better woman. I have to do everything that a quality woman. And it has nothing to do with makeup. It has to do with your heart and everything you do in life, the way you treat people. That's my definition of what quality is.
Most definitely. And I think true leadership is leading by example. A lot of the times women and men, parents, get into the habit of dictatorship. You do this because I say do this. Don't smoke while I'm smoking a cigarette. Don't do certain things. And kids will see through that. Kids are smart and they'll see through that. So I think it goes back around to raising women or raising men. So as a woman, when I put on makeup, which, by the way, you guys, everyday life, I don't wear makeup. My husband don't like makeup and things like that. I just don't feel the need. So when I go and put on makeup and my daughter's watching me and she's playing in my makeup and stuff, what is it teaching her? And then we have these conversations. When I go and put on makeup and my sons are looking at me, what are their expectations of the women they then go out and decide to date or to be with and things like that. Or if I don't put on makeup, if I don't comb my hair, if I just slap it back, what am I teaching them? Am I teaching them standards of self-care? So it goes the either way. But you guys, we're going to be right back. We have to take a time out and go to another break really quick. So you guys stay with us. guys, we're back. I don't know if that lagged or not, but hey, technology is lovely. So you guys, as we, round the, bend and begin to wrap up, the different perspectives, I respect and appreciate and love you all. I wouldn't have you on here if I didn't respect your opinions from your different perspectives and your backgrounds and your professional standpoints, as well as your personal standpoints from where you come. We have, mental health therapists on here to host, directors, queens. We're all queens and kings, but pageant queens. We have everything. Radio personalities, you guys. So if there is something that you want to ask or want to say, definitely put it in the chat. Everyone has access to it. We will be responding to things as we go back and review and things like this. But we'll be doing stuff like this more often. So if you enjoyed what you saw today, definitely go tell your friends, share it, like it, forward it. We would appreciate that help. So I'm going to go around the bend with you guys, and if there's any last words, especially how people can find, follow, support you, your company, your brand, your show, your project, your movie, your whatever the case may be, definitely shout that out. I'm gonna reverse order. I know we started with Tori last time, and Tori, when we get back to you, I think we lost Kayla from Total Entertainment Radio, so if you can help me with that aspect as well. So let us start with, who do we start with? I don't even know. I'm going from the bottom right of my screen and around, okay? So I guess that means you, Tamina.
All right, so I didn't mention earlier that I created an app for the Black community to connect with Black therapists. So you can download my app. You can find me on Instagram at Black_therapy_love. Yeah, I think, the biggest thing, the overall message of this discussion, and it's been a very informative, beautiful discussion, but finding out who you are and living in your truth for you. There's so much happening in the world. There's so much that society is feeding us and telling us. But at the end of the day, if you find out who you are, and love that person unconditionally, without makeup, with makeup, regardless of anything else that's happening, then you will find your happiness. Being intentional and being happy for you. So look me up, life coach. Let me know if you need anything from me, and I'm here. I'm here to serve.
Yay! Love you so much, lady. So I'm going to pause really quick because I just noticed the question in the chats. So Patricia asked me if I enjoy wearing makeup. My husband don't really like it. He thinks it's unnecessary. He thinks I look better without it. Me personally, I could go without it. It breaks me out sometimes. It's a hassle. It takes too long to put on. I'm a really let's go, let's get it done. I'm a very comfort girl. However, I do find on some occasions I do like wearing makeup. I don't mind it. Like if I'm on a video shoot or doing something on that level or in a movie or something like that, and somebody else is doing my makeup, and then I look in the mirror like, oh, that's cool. But I never feel connected to that person because it never feels like me. Because the majority of the time, I'm go see makeup. Go see makeup in the industry is basically the most natural looking makeup you could put on, where it looks like you don't have on any. You have it on, but it looks very natural. I can do that, but I prefer no makeup at all. And that's just my personal preference. I do find a need for it sometimes, depending on what I got going on, what I'm doing. As a dancer, I learned a long time ago, as Kazar mentioned, the lights will wash you out. So if you're performing on a stage and you do not have on makeup, people can't tell who you are. You just look like this blob. So there is a need for makeup, and there's a place, time, and everything for it. So yeah, it depends on the day and what I'm doing. I don't have nothing against it. I don't have anything for it. I just do what I need to do for that particular moment. I wear makeup for shows for the same reason. When you're in the studio, the lights are on you, and I don't want to look washed out. But I'm not opposed to posting pictures of me with no makeup. Like if you follow me at Naja, NYSIA across all social media platforms at Carter or Will Height, you'll see I have pictures without makeup on. It is what it is. Okay, so we're gonna continue. Okay, so next, you guys, on this wrap up thingy, we have Kazar. So Kazar, any final words?
Well, to find me, you can find me on any social media platform at Kazar Coleman, or at my website, kazarcoleman.com, or Kazar Entertainment. Just a couple things in this industry. If in my industry, that is the movie, entertainment, the whole thing. If you're going to be in this industry, learn the industry, learn the business part of it, and adapt to it. It doesn't mean that you have to change who you are. Once the camera's off, then you are who you are. But if that is your field, adjust to it and go forward, because that's the only way you're going to be successful. That's it.
Most definitely. Now, Kazar actually has a project out on the Real Fleely TV. So you guys definitely go check out Fleely TV. Definitely support Kazar's project. Kazar, you want to shout out that project really quick?
That project is Gehenna, Darkness Unleashed. It's a scary movie, so it don't matter what you look like. You all getting killed.
No, you didn't. So you guys, if you need the link for that, definitely DM me, hit me up on the show. I will shoot out the link for that. Or you can go to Kazar Coleman on Facebook, cross social media, like he just said, and get the information for that. Or you can go to the Real Fleely TV on IG, or Google it, it'll come up, the website. So moving right along, you guys, we have Katrina.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for inviting me into this great group of women and men. It was definitely a learning experience. I learned a lot, and I really appreciate it. The way you can find me is Mrs. _Florida _American 2020 on Instagram. Katrina Spagnoletti, and I'm seeing this right here, right there. Here's how you spell the last name. Katrina Spagnoletti on Facebook. My website, where you can find my book, What My Mother Never Knew, is on katrinaspagnoletti.com. It's something that is near and dear to my heart. It took me a lot of soul searching and emotions to write this book, but it's something that definitely I knew I had the responsibility to go out there and talk about childhood sexual abuse and how it affects your self-esteem and how you heal to be a better person. So,
yay! Awesome. I have to shout out really quick, Latoya, Mrs. Diamond Cuts. Love you. I understand and we appreciate, and we'll get with you next time. She wasn't able to join us today, but we love you anyway, honey. So we're going to keep it moving. Keonce from the hot spot. What you got to say, Mama?
So basically, thank you for having me, Nigel. I enjoyed the panel. I enjoyed the perspectives. I also got a chance to kind of see and meet different people that I'm interested in actually working with, possibly in the near future, or even exchanging some ideas or brainstorming about some other projects that maybe we could work on as a collaborative to come up with more stuff. Okay, more stuff like this. But for the most part, I'll be honest with you guys. I feel like these type of conversations need to happen as often as possible. One, because we have to set the precedence for our future generations, like our kids, our communities, and our, young people are our future. And we are those guidance and that foundation for them. I'll be honest with you guys. I have a 19-year-old son. I talk to him about a lot of things, but I also project to him what it is that I expect without me even saying anything. And that I feel like we as young people learned a very long time ago, that if your mama gave you that look, like, you better get it together, that you should understand it. They didn't have to open up their mouth to say a god doggone thing to you, and you understood what that body language and sign language meant, okay? So I do that with my son as well. So some things are unspoken, but he know don't play with me because I will catch this assault and battery charge and not think nothing about it. But besides that, y'all, we definitely, I know that there's laws and stuff that say that you can't put your hands on y'all kids and stuff like that or whatever the case may be, but it's more than one way to skin a cat, okay? And it's more than one way to do what you got to do with your kids to keep them out of the system, because there's too many of our Black young people who are dealing with all of these things ending up in the grave or ending up in prison. And we got to protect them or whatever. Not everything that we do is perfect. Not everything that we do is the way to go. But you do the best that you can, baby. And if you can't do it, ask somebody for some help. These resources that is out there, don't be ashamed or whatever. And my thing is this, as long as we have this platform to do it, we got to continue to put that content out there, the positive energy, but also put those bad things out there so you could understand how to interpret and deal with the ups, the downs, the rounds, and maneuver through life in the best way that you can. I'm not saying everything gonna be successful and peachy and creamy, but y'all check out the Hot Spot Show, because we be having conversations like this. And really, to be honest with y'all, we got kids, we got a whole generation that we gotta wear on our backs. We can't let this government and stuff be trying to tell our kids what to do and how to do it in society and this, that, the third, and the other. So thank you, Nigel, for having me. I enjoyed all of you guys' perspectives, and it's something for all of us to think about and continue to talk about. So I'll be looking forward to the next time.
You're welcome, honey. And the Hot Spot Show comes on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Definitely tune in. Check out. If you like conversations like this with some music, some more red cups and things, definitely check us out. Come hang out. Just, you can do what you want. Okay, so moving right on along, I think the last one left, but not the least one, is Tori and Nisi from Power 904. Definitely. And Tori's also going to shout out Total Entertainment Radio for me, guys, since Kayla had to jump off. So, Tori, honey.
Hey, y'all. Thank y'all for coming on. Oh, I love this. It's just educational. It's inviting to let everybody else know that it's okay to talk and it's okay to say I'm not okay. I really enjoyed this open forum type situation. I want to give a shout out to Total Entertainment Radio. They are so awesome. You can find them on Facebook, Total Entertainment Radio. You can also find them on IG, Total Entertainment. You can also find them on the Power 904 website as well. They have their own little page and everything. So just tap into Total Entertainment Radio and go to www.power904.com. You can enjoy music, shows, DJs, all kind of things going on that station. For what I have to say lastly, I want to send out the fact that there is so much that we do need to talk about that hasn't been said. So I really want people to keep coming up, keep tapping in, keep showing up, and start to open up and talk to us. We're willing to listen. We're here for you guys. Please come send us a text or inbox or anything. Just connect with us. We want to hear what you have to say, and it's okay. So that's what I have to say. Thank you guys again.
Yeah, and Empower's site is what, Tori?
www.power904.com.
Absolutely. I have to say, you guys, I'm highly appreciative that you guys took the time out of your Sundays, your chill days, your relaxed days, or whatever, as much of a relaxation day that we have, because I know we all are movers and shakers. But I definitely appreciate you all for coming out and joining me and having this conversation about, our image in the public as well as in private life and how we feel about that, and talking about the mental behind it, the self-esteem behind it, and how we communicate with one another. You guys, if you like what you see, definitely remember to share. Tell all your friends to go follow Get It, Got It Good G3 across all social media platforms, or they can follow me personally at Naja, Nysia Carter, or Wilhite, Wilhite, across all social media platforms. You can catch G3 on Wednesday mornings at 11:30 a.m. on WBGR Health and Wellness Channel. You can watch me or listen to me weekdays 9 a.m. on Power 904, and weeknights 6 p.m. on Total Entertainment Radio. You guys, I have nothing but love for y'all. Thank you all for joining me. Until our next conversation, you guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.
I love